Alright, the last way of solving simultaneous equations is called by elimination. Why is it called that? It's because you eliminate one of the variables. So the first way you solved was graphically. You drew the lines and saw where they crossed, and we discussed how that would take a long time. I'm only asking you to do it like once or twice in the actual test. It would take too long to do it multiple times. Then we did substitution, where you substitute one variable into the other. The last is by elimination. These are the steps. And once again, if you remember the substitution steps, these sentences don't make a whole lot of sense until you see it in action. So what are the steps for solving by elimination? You only use this when both equations are in general form. Ensure both equations are in general form. That's step one. Step two, choose one of the variables to look at, x or y. So you've got some options here. If you like x, look at x. If you like y, look at y. Or if you're smarter as an Ignite student, you can look at both and then make a decision, which you'll see some examples of that when we do some examples. Look at the coefficient. Coefficient, let's do some terminology here. If you have this, 3x, x is the variable, 3 is the coefficient. It's the number in front, okay? So step 3 is you look at the coefficient of the variable, number in front, in both of the equations. And 4, you decide on an operation that you apply to all the terms of one or both equations that will make the coefficients equal in size, opposite in sign. That is the hardest step. You're looking at that and going, what the hell does that mean? You'll see when we do this. Step 5, add the equations vertically. What do I mean by adding vertically? Have you in primary school added numbers like this before? Yep. Variable. 6, solve for the leftover variable, and then 7, substitute the variable you found in 6 into either of the equations to find the remaining variable. That is a lot of words to explain a process that is actually easier than that when you do it. Can you get those steps down, please? When we're doing the example and you guys are responding to my questions, can you say it louder? I want to use this opportunity to flex my Year 10 Ignite class onto my Year 12s. I'm using the Year 12 book, and I think you can do it. I'm getting a sense that you're quite capable. You just needed to get used to my style. When I teach them this, I'll record their lesson, and I want you to hear if they're less sure than you. That will be fun. Get those steps down. I'll give you 5 minutes because that's a lot of stuff to get done. Those hand muscles, right? That Despicable Me movie you were talking about, is it actually good?
I like
So you recommend it?
Which one?
I don't know how many there's.
First one.
Well, you guys were like offended that I'd never seen it.
The one with the brothers sucks.
Yeah, it was less.
Yeah, the first one's good, second one is decent.
I will have a watch of it. I will let you know my opinion on this. As an almost 40-year-old, I will let you know what I think of your children's movie. Is it a DreamWorks or is it Disney? Oh, it's different. It's different again. Whoa. Couple more minutes and then we'll do this example. If you have finished writing, can you violently drop your pen? Well, no. Okay, I cannot encourage violence. Just drop it in a slightly aggressive fashion so that I can hear it.
If you're done, make some noise.
Yes. Yes, sir. Are you supposed to be whistling? What is that? Just breathing heavily. Hey guys, on YouTube, there's a student currently breathing into his clutched fists.
Is that meant to be a vocal?
This is what we call whistling at the hub.
I've been trying to do it for like a week.
Hey, practice. Practice makes
Can you
perfect.
do the one with
You
the
never should have like photo on your computer type.
After. Oh, I can't show it. It's nothing bad. It's just, we all know the law of how Jesus. He walks in the middle of the road, and I've got dash cam footage of it.
He's scavengers for doing the work. Mate, shut up. And he abuses us when people go to the incorrect time. It's a little bit scary.
Shh. All right, there's chit chat. I'm just going to go through this example, and then we'll do a flex one using a Year 12 question. Solve by elimination. Let me demonstrate how to do these steps. Real slow. Number one, ensure both equations are in general form. Can I remind you what general form looks like? It looks like this. Something x plus something y equals something else. Is that what the top one looks like? Is that what the bottom looks like? Step one has been achieved. Step two, choose one of the variables to look at, x or y in both equations. Here you have a choice. Here I'm going to show you how to do it in two ways. This is the smooth brain version. And this is going to be the Ignite version. Because once you get good at this, you'll anticipate. You'll find a smarter way of dealing with things. I'm going to do the smooth brain way and be like, I love x. X is what I deal with in algebra all the time. So Mr. T has told me, choose one of the variables to look at, x or y in both equations. I'm just always going to do x because I've been given that choice. So we're looking at x. Look at the coefficients of that variable. The number in front in both equations. So what are the numbers we're looking at? What's the number in front of x in the top one? What's the number in front of x in the bottom one? Good. So that's in your head right now. This is the hardest step. Decide on an operation. You want to do one operation that applies to both, all of the terms in one or both of these equations to make these numbers equal in size but opposite in sign. Are these numbers equal in size? Are they opposite signs? But they're both positive, so they're not opposite. So I'm going to have to do operations to both of these. What's the smallest number that 5 and 3 both go into? 15. So that's the coefficient that I'm going to force these to become. The problem with that is that I need to multiply both by something. What could I multiply 5 by to make it 15? Good. So you're going to write, I'm going to rewrite it here. 5x, take 2y equals 7. 3x plus 2y equals 17. You've decided that you want it to be 15. Times that by 3. The bottom, I want it to be 15, but I want it to be opposite sign. Right now it's positive. What kind of a number? What number would I have to times 3 by to make it negative 15? Times that by negative 5. So what I'm going to write is these equations, after multiplying everything by that those numbers in the bracket. So what's 5x times by 3 going to be? 15x. And what's negative 2y going to be if I times it by 3? Negative 6y. And what is 7 going to be if I times it by 3? 21. So right now we have achieved 15x. The bottom one, I'm timesing it by negative 5. What's 3x going to be if I times it by negative 5? Negative 15x. 2y when I times it by negative 5. Negative 10y. And 17 times it by negative 5. 58, negative 85. Did we achieve the equal size and opposite sign for the number in front of x? What do I do now? Add the equations vertically to eliminate. So I draw a line under here and I show that I'm adding. What's 15x's add negative 15x? Did you see? Did x just get eliminated? Why am I eliminating x? I can't solve anything if I have x and y that I don't know. But now x is gone. I've got negative 6y's plus negative 10y's. What's that going to be? Well done. Negative 16y equals 21 take 85. I suck at subtraction. Use a calculator. We'll use a calculator for the rest of this. Let's have a look. I don't trust myself enough. And I probably trust you guys, but let's just check. Because this is a video and I don't want to answer it incorrectly. You're right, negative 64. What's negative 16? So we're up to this step. Step 6, solve for the leftover variable. What's the leftover variable? Y. What's negative 16 doing to y? What's the opposite of that? Divide both sides by that. Y is going to be 4. What kind of a 4? Good, because it's a negative divided by a negative. I have y. You're in year 10, you're doing simultaneous equations. Is that the only answer right now? No. So I substitute that, that's step 7. Substitute what I found here into the easier looking one. I think they both look equally hard. They just look the same. Which one would you like me to substitute it into? The top or the bottom? Bottom. You're going to get the same answer regardless. Okay, so I'm going to go y is meant to be 4. So I'm going to plug it into this one. So it's going to be 3x plus 2 lots of 4 equals 17. 3x plus 8 equals 17. What's the opposite of adding 8? So 3x is equal to 9. And x is going to be 3. That's your answer. We solved by elimination. Can you just get that down? Because that will work. But these numbers are quite large. And is smooth brain a positive connotation or is it a negative connotation? Good. What I'm trying to do is that we can do it better. Because if you look at this situation, maybe if I looked at y, I wouldn't have had so much working out. So just get that example because that's what you actually do. But I want to do the Ignite or the rough brain version. If you're confident, have a look. See if you can see what I mean by the smooth brain and the Ignite version. Because you're allowed to look at X or you're allowed to look at Y. If you've got the option, think ahead. Yeah, you just clicked. You just clicked, didn't it? If you look at Y, what do we have?
Now I see why we did X.
Huh?
Now I see why.
I showed you what we did X because some people are not going to be confident and they're always going to look at X. But what I'm showing you is that because you're more capable, if I've given the option to look at X or Y, maybe have a look at Y sometime.
You don't have to times anything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would there be as much working out? No. Would you have to deal with 85?
No.
I think it's clicking for a lot of people, so I might as well do the Ignite version. I have told you that the hardest step is step 4. I need the coefficients to be the same size and opposite sign. What is the coefficient in front of y? 2. Are they both 2?
No.
They're already the same size. Are they opposite sign? They're already the opposite sign. So what can I do straight away? I can add them vertically instantly. What's 5x's plus 3x's? If I've got negative 2y's and I add 2y's, that's going to be eliminated. Plus nothing equals 7 and 17 is 24. So I can solve for this. 8x is equal to 24. 8 over 8 over 8 cancels. X is going to be 24 over 8, which is 3. Do you notice that they're the same? If I substitute this into either or, I'm going to substitute it into the first one because I'm a rebel. 5 lots of 3, take 2y's is equal to 7. That's 15. Take 2y equals 7. How do I get rid of positive 15? What's the opposite of adding 15 to something? Negative 2y is equal to, what's that going to be? 7 take... My God, I'm showing on YouTube how I can't subtract 7 and 15. Negative 8. What's the opposite of timesing by negative 2? Dividing by negative 2, that's going to be positive 4. Is that the same as last time?
Yeah.
Was that a slightly nicer numbers though?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by a less good version and a better version. Can you get those examples down? And then I want to do a quick flex on the year 12s. When we do this example, yes, question?
No, that's dropping.
Ivan, when I do this example, can you say it out? Can you say your responses out loud so it can be picked up on method? Let's try this one. If you have finished those examples, have a look at this. This is from I'm literally teaching this the end of this term to those classes. That one class, sorry, the general maths. That kid there, he's in that class. Doesn't have a year 12. Let's have a look at this. This is literally from the year 12 textbook. I want to eliminate something. I have an option to look at X or Y. Which one's going to think? Which variable should I look at to deal with smaller numbers? 4 and 3 or 3 and 2?
3.
Because the smallest number that they both fit into is?
6.
Well done. What would I times 3 by to make it 6?
2.
I want the opposite sign, but the same size for the bottom. So what would I times?
Negative 3.
Excellent. Negative 3. So rewrite this. What's the top going to look like if I've multiplied everything by 2?
6x plus 8y equals 4.
Excellent. I like this. You're saying it with your chest. Say the bottom one.
Negative 6x minus 9y.
Ooh, take your time. It's a minus times by.
Plus 9y.
I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that in. People make.
Negative 41.
Good. Do we have the same size opposite sign on one of the variables now?
Yep.
Which one is that? X. X will be eliminated. Write the line. Show that I'm adding. No x's left. 8 and 9 is going to be 17y's. 4 take 21. I believe that's going to be negative 17. Couldn't we answer that straight away? 17y is equal to negative 17. So y is going to be what? Negative 1. Y is equal to negative 1. Put it in a box. That's not the full answer. because I'm doing simultaneous equations. I don't like dealing with negative numbers. So I'm going to chuck it into the top one because it's all positive. So it's going to be 3 lots of x plus 4 lots of negative 1 equals 2. 3x take 4 equals 2. What's my next line going to be? What? Plus 4. So what's it going to be? 3x is equal to?
6.
And then x is going to be 2. If you would like that example, you can, but otherwise